Waves from the Tasman Sea pound Montague Island's rocky coastline relentlessly. Getting ashore can be a hazardous affair if you're a penguin. And yet every evening, hundreds of fairy penguins do just that, scrambling ashore to nest. Purpose-built breeding boxes have been made for them while a grass regeneration program takes place, with Mark and I checking boxes today to see if they're occupied.
Well, Mark, these little fairy penguins, you built them huts.
We did. We've altered their habitat temporarily while we got rid of the kikuyu. We've put a box where their old nests were.
Yeah.
And we come and monitor these quite regularly to see if anyone's home.
Nothing.
You can see nothing in this one, a few feathers. So
Okay,
a
another
bird's
box.
been here molting.
Another box over here.
Another one over there we'll have a look at.
So what the penguins do is obviously come up out of the surf.
Yes, just down here on the rocks. Waddle up to their burrows every night during breeding season.
Yep.
And at the moment they're molting, so they've come up a day or two ago. What have we got? Oh yes, here's one.
There we go.
Okay, so this is a molting penguin, and
you're checking this penguin. There's a legitimate reason for holding this. You're checking for tags.
Well, I'll check for a tag, and he doesn't like it, does he? And also, have a look at the bird. You can see when they're molting that
Yes.
here's his beautiful new feathers on the back here. Look at those.
Beautiful colour once they have molted. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful feathers there.
Well, these feathers would have been that colour. So he's got to spend about 2 to 3 weeks in this burrow, starving, as he changes every single feather on his body. Now, these birds have got more feathers per square centimetre than any other bird on Earth, and they need to change them all at once to keep their protection in the water.
Mark, how many of these little fairy penguins have we got here on Montague Island?
Oh, Montague, Greg, is Australia's, I believe, the third largest after Gabo Island, and they've got about 28,000 pairs, and Phillip Island's got about 18,000 pairs, and we've got about 6,000 or 8,000 pairs.
And Mark, they're wild birds, they're in their natural habitat, and yet you've built these timber boxes. What's all this about?
Well, this bird would have been coming to a nest in this vicinity for all of its life, and it was probably born in this vicinity. They're very loyal to their burrows. They defend them all their lives from other takers. Eventually, this vegetation will grow up and over and form suitable habitat for them just to nest naturally rather than in the box. But at the moment, it's a pretty good home.
Another bird species to find home here on Montague Island are the shearwaters. As Mark explains, there's a big research program underway here to track these birds.
So Mark, we're checking for shearwaters.
Yes, otherwise
Little burrows everywhere.
we've got a couple of species here, wedge tails and short tails, and maybe some sooty shearwaters. And I'm looking for a burrow that we can find a chick in that'll be about probably 4 weeks off maturity. Here's a couple here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look down in the burrow, reach down in the burrow with my hand.
You're going to get bitten, aren't you?
Well, no. And that one's too deep.
Yep.
Some of them can be up to 2 metres long, these burrows.
Yep.
Now, it's not everyone who'll stick their arms right down a burrow, but Mark's efforts do pay off.
Look at this. Look at this. What a beautiful bird. What's the purpose of bringing them out like this?
Well, we're checking on their progress, seeing how they're going. This fellow's got a long way to go, probably another 6 weeks in the burrow. Might make his way out by April. And the amazing thing about this bird is he's starting to get his adult feathers. See here?
Now, these shearwaters are still very prolific, aren't they? Not only here on Montague Island, but right along the Australian coast.
Well, it's in the vicinity of 80 million shearwaters come to our shores every year for our summer. The short tails will head back to where the Bering Sea is, up the North Pacific. We're looking at about maybe 15 to 18,000 pairs of these. So that's 15 to 18,000 holes in the ground. One of the longest running bird surveys in the world is conducted on Montague Island with these, where they have test plots where they count them and do a census every March. And these guys have been doing that for nearly 50 years, well, for 50 years this year. It's their anniversary.
So, survey completed. Time to get back in the burrow.
The waters off Montague Island are filled with seals, and again, Mark is keen to give me an encounter I won't forget.
Well, Mark, are those seals ready for us, or are we ready for them?
Well, I'm certainly ready. Greg, I love to get in with these animals every chance I get. Out here at Montague Island, the water's clear. These guys are living in the rich environment out here, feeding on fish and squid. The water's warm. We've got seal pups. We've got maybe a dozen pups in this little bay at the moment and another dozen around the corner. These will be New Zealand fur seals on one side, Australian fur seals on the other.
Now these seals love to swim straight at you. They'll come straight at your face and turn at the very last second.
Exactly. They're acrobats underwater. They're so flexible. Their spine enables them to flip around almost in a third of their body length. That's how they grab fish, but that's also how they have fun. Sometimes our seals build up in bigger numbers in the cold water. Around about August, they start really arriving. We'll have a couple of thousand here maybe at the island at that time, and that's when you really know you're with the seals. They're all around you. We've still got about 300 or 400 here today, but yeah, throughout the year, every time you go in, it's different. It's just such a buzz.
Travel